In service to our duty to the Constitution and to our country, the House Committee on the Judiciary is introducing 2 articles of impeachment charging the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, with committing high crimes and misdemeanors.
Democrats announcing 2 articles of impeachment this morning, charging the president with abuse of power and obstruction of Congress.
Of course, there is still a long road ahead for the impeachment process, and political reporter Atra El-Nashar today spoke with an expert on what this means for the country going forward. Atra.
Yeah, Derek and Janice, well, this is only the 4th time in history that articles of impeachment have been introduced against a U.S. president, and the first time against one up for re-election. And while some are certain how the House and the Senate will vote, what no one knows is how our country will come out on the other side.
It's going to be a low mark in Congress when you see what they've done to the standard of impeachment.
Republicans in Congress responding quickly to House Democrats announcing their charges against the president for alleged abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. But in a process that is by nature political, is it possible to hold someone accountable? Here's Professor Doug Coatman at Calvin University.
There's really no compelling argument that one is right and one is wrong. It really, to some extent, is what political party do you agree with?
Coatman says the timing of this 2-month investigation weakens the case for impeachment and gave Republicans who may not agree with the president's conduct an excuse to stay within party lines.
I think that the Democratic insistence on a timeline to get this done by Christmas just let Republicans off the hook to really having to consider these things on their substance.
Coatman argues as impeachments occur more frequently, 3 in the past 45 years, they get more divisive.
Nixon was some bipartisanship. Clinton, there was a little bit, but it was mostly partisan, and this is almost purely the Democrats on one side and the Republicans against it.
In the past, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said she wouldn't proceed with impeachment unless she had bipartisan support. But even now, she doesn't seem to have it.
I frankly expect 0 or 1 or 2 defections on the Republican side, almost none, and probably about the same on the Democratic side. And some, you could have their career ruined if they took a position now and that turns out to be 6 months from now or a year or 2 from now, just a really disastrous position to take.
So what's going to happen next is the House Judiciary Committee, which has a Democratic majority, will vote this week on whether to proceed with those articles of impeachment. And that's expected to pass and then would go to the full House for a vote as early as next week. Then it's up to the Republican-led Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. He's going to decide on how the trial in the Senate will go. And that vote in the Senate is the deciding factor on whether or not the president will be removed from office, which has never happened in our nation's history. Live in the newsroom, Atra El-Nashar, Fox 17 News.